So in today's video, I want to cover the topic of enmeshment. Enmeshment is something I see happen all the time to pretty much everyone. It's something that is pretty much unavoidable in any group setting. So that especially goes for family dynamics, but it extends to any social group setting, such as at school or in a extracurricular group or in a group of friends or any group of people that comes together. There's going to be some level of enmeshment within that group. And what enmeshment is when your innate needs conflicts with the innate needs of another member of the group. And therefore, in order to keep you both safe, you mask those needs and present the version of yourself that makes that other person comfortable, and vice versa. It's a way of surviving. It's a way of surviving social settings. And this is ingrained in us in childhood. We are brought up to minimize our own selves in order to fit into group dynamics in the name of getting along and being considerate and being kind, or it's often disguised in a way that makes it sound like it's for the benefit of everyone, even though what it's really doing is it's stifling your essence, and it is causing you to suppress parts of yourself that are very much there and that want to be expressed. But because of the enmeshment in the group, these parts of you cannot be expressed. So they become fragmented, and you enter adulthood not really knowing who you are, because the version of you that you've been since childhood has been the version of you that was required to survive social settings. So enmeshment is problematic because it creates a complex web of energy, a tangled mass of energy that can't be resolved, because if you attempt to resolve it, it will manifest hostility in another member of the group as a response to you stepping outside of the agreed upon parameters of what that group is and what your agreed upon role in that group was. So when you say, I'm no longer okay with this role that I've been being, I'm no longer okay with this role, I want to express my authenticity, well, that's immediately shunned, and that's immediately shut down by every other member of the group. Because if you are to remove yourself from that group, it causes the other members of that group, it forces them to look at themselves, and that's very scary. Those people don't want to look at themselves. They want to continue life living under the guises that they've been living under, because it makes everything easy for them. It makes everything comfortable for them. But that is ruining your life. Maintaining that false image is ruining your life. So are you going to continue to do that to uphold everyone else's perfect reality, or are you going to be courageous enough to express who you really are, but risk being shunned from the group? That's the choice. And so enmeshment is something that can be untangled, but it starts with you And it starts with your courage to be who you really are. And in being who you really are, you give other people permission to be who they really are. So at first, it causes this massive ripple that is very scary to everyone in the group. But what eventually happens is that if you maintain your authentic self long enough, it will force the others to step into their authentic selves. And what happens is a massive ripple effect where the group that survived within this enmeshment trauma can no longer sustain itself. The enmeshment can no longer sustain itself because it requires all members of the group to be participating under that umbrella of enmeshment, under that agreement of enmeshment. So when people start choosing a different identity, that forces the enmeshment to crumble. And so anybody who is still clinging to that false role, they'll be by themselves. And that will be even more scary than the people who have chosen to be authentic. And so they will also choose to be authentic. And so you see how it starts with you. It always starts with you. It starts with your courage to change how you are presenting yourself, because you realize at some level, some unconscious level, that you are playing a game, and that game is not serving you. And so what you're going to do is you're going to express your authentic self, and you're going to make people uncomfortable, because you know that that's ultimately the best thing you can do. It may not seem like it at the beginning, but ultimately that is the best thing, because that's what causes change, that's what causes growth and evolution. So, enmeshment does happen in many family settings because that's how the family survives as a unit, by upholding this enmeshment. But it causes so much trauma, and then that trauma bleeds into other areas of your life, and you bring it with you into adulthood, and it causes a lot of suffering. So it is something that we've normalized as a society, and we've just called it, oh, that's the typical American family, or that's just how families are, that's just a typical dysfunctional family. That's what all families do. That's how all families behave. There's always arguments and problems, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's just that people use all of these excuses as to why it is that way, because it's been going on for so long that people simply can't even imagine a different scenario where there is no enmeshment, where everyone is operating from their authentic self. It's been going on so long that people can't even imagine a reality where it isn't that way. But that's why this video is so important, because it's explaining that it can be different, and that you hold the power to be the trendsetter, so to speak, the person who is holding the torch for everybody to see and to follow. And that's how change occurs. So I hope this video explained enmeshment in a way that made sense. If you're dealing with enmeshment, I hope this video cleared up how you can free yourself from that and why it's a good idea. So please like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel for more content. Bye.